Welcome back to the Coding Fanatic YouTube channel. I'm your host, Richard Clark, and I am a full-stack Android developer with a focus on efficiency. That means that when it comes to working on my projects, learning new skills, or even working with others on different projects or in the workplace, I do everything as efficiently as possible. And here on the Coding Fanatic YouTube channel, I teach you to do the same thing. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, then don't forget to hit subscribe, turn on notifications so you can see when I upload new videos like this each week. Also head to the Coding Fanatic YouTube channel, join the mailing list, and you'll be the first to know when I do new career advice videos and articles, project updates, things on new Android tutorials, and more. So without further ado, let's get started. For those of you who are new to the channel, I've been working on some updates for my first app, the Salesman's travel app. Link in the description below. The app pulls a set of addresses from a list of hard-coded strings and displays it in the app for users to interact with. However, now that I've learned how to use Firebase and set up a backend, the app now it pulls the strings and the addresses from a database using real-time database, which is much better. So this Firebase integration that allows you to use databases for a backend is just, it really saves me a lot of time and it makes things so much simpler. Before, I had a full string array of every address that I used for the app, and honestly I was a little surprised because the way I set up there's two activities that the users can interact with. There's the list activity, which displays the list of addresses, and then there's the search activity, which displays, the search bar, and then you can actually search for addresses using their state and zip code. But there's no parity between the way these addresses are displayed in these two activities. So in the list activity, I had a string array that contained every address that I used. But in the search activity, I used hard-coded string variables from the homes class that I used to instantiate the objects that would then later be used to display the apps and provide that search functionality that lets users interact with the different addresses. So looking at the list activity and updating it to use the Firebase, using the real-time database and the Firebase integration, it was a little shocking. It's like, I know I wrote it, I know how it got there, but it's still a little like, I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I'm pretty sure I wanted it to go seamlessly, and I didn't know how to set up a backend at the time, so I thought, hey, let's use a string array. But the thing that stood out to me was just that there's no parity between these two. So there's one activity uses one method and another uses a different method, but they both accomplish the same result. So, okay. Anywho, the point is, I went in and I looked at the setup I had before, which was all those strings, and I just deleted it, set up the real-time, the database reference object, and used the new logic to configure the app so that it pulls using that reference to pull the strings in and display them that way instead. So, it's a lot easier than hard coding a bunch of strings once you know what you're doing. So I'm glad that I went on to this adventure using Firebase and learning how to integrate it and everything like that. This is going to be very useful, not just for this project, but other projects in the future. Now that the list activity is complete, I have a baseline for setting up the search activity. So that's going to be my move next time. And yeah, I think after that might be the final stage of this project. But we'll get there when we get there, right? So, what do you guys think? You tell me, you Android developers and software developers out there, what are your thoughts? When you're creating I believe that when you create a new project, if you don't know what you're doing, come up with a way to reach your goal, but make sure that there's parity across your project. So instead of using multiple means of doing the same thing, use a single method and repeat it over and over throughout your project. But in my project, like I said, one activity uses uses a string array using hard-coded variables. Another one uses a series of string variables using hard-coded strings from another class. So what are your thoughts on this? And have you found that Firebase has made things easier for you? Let me know in the comments below. So that being said, that's about it. Go ahead and follow me on social media. Links in the description. Join the mailing list on codingfanatic.com. That's also in the description. Everything you need is right there. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can see when I do new videos like this each week, and you will be the first to know before anyone. That being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Richard, signing out, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.